Hey everyone, welcome back to Corginomics. Let's go over the markets. There's a lot of things to cover. I'll try to make it as short as it possible. So, I want to firstly go over SPX and NDX, obviously biggest indexes. And I think in general, if we look at the sentiment went from, we're going to all-time highs and never stopping to we are going to zero pretty much over the last few months, just because we chop in this very tight range. I mean, if you look at that realistically, let's say you look at the NASDAQ, you have a 9% range since October. Actually, if we look a bit back, it's since September. So you're in that tight bubble over here. Same goes for SPX, that everyone's losing their mind. And it's a beautiful market for trading. I mean, I'm having fun with that. You basically, I think for the last 11 daily candles on NASDAQ, you can short one day and the long next day. It's basically red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green. So it's been pretty fun. I think the last 3 Fridays, I basically shorted on Friday, closed my shorts Monday, Tuesday, then reshorted again. And it's been pretty good range to trade, but I think we're heading into decision. And usually in this environment, it is not as easy as a lot of people would like to think. And the clear directional play on the index is just becoming harder and harder due to the various narratives, but also because current administration in America also putting so much focus on the price of the stocks that basically whenever we dip, they're just coming up with some announcements, news and so on, just to ease the impact and fix it straight away. I mean, realistically, if we look from 2022, I mean, you have the small dips here and there, like 15-20%, and this huge crash we had when the tariffs hit. But other than that, you're basically in an up-only mode, and I don't think it's going to change for the next 2-3 years. So any dips we get, we should treat as a blessing. And here's pretty straightforward. Like if you look at NASDAQ and SPX, if we just draw this range over here with the candles on all-time highs and ignore the wicks, and the same over here and ignore the wicks, we're basically looking at this range that here on NASDAQ between 24.750 to 25,900. And on SPX from 6,850 to about 7,000. Now, how I see that, it's pretty straightforward. And I think because everyone is positioned for some sort of crash right now, we might chop and squeeze a bit higher. And now we either squeeze and reclaim above these all-time highs, then you're basically going into price discovery. And assuming as long as that 7K all-time high holds, you're just playing for, unlimited upside for the time being. Now, if that happens, we chop around. Let me just change here. We chop around above the all-time highs and then accept back in a range. I'll just take it, assume that is a fake out and we're going to finally get some sort of rejection. So I think this would be a scenario where a lot of people would FOMO, expecting a squeeze. And if we get, you know, few candles above, then start accepting back within a range, I think we can get some decent flush, and I'll be looking to be buy lower down. Let's look maybe on a daily. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get that low. I think if anything from 6,600 to 6,300 on SPX will be a blessing. So yeah, let's go on a daily, it's a bit cleaner. So that's what I'll be looking at. And the same goes for NASDAQ. You know, basically, just because a lot of people are starting to get position short when the realistically opportunity to short was, you know, over here, there was a lot of signals in de-risking. I think we might see some sort of squeeze, and if that happens and we accept back below, then it will be very nice shorting opportunity into 22Ks, 23Ks. Now, if we just accept above this all-time highs and hold, you know, above that range, you're basically treating the all-time highs as invalidation, and you just play for upside from here. Like, I just want to keep it very simple. And currently on both charts, on a daily, the main resistance is EMA 99. Like, whenever we accepted below EMA 99, market bought back rapidly. You know, the last scenario we had was in November, and in the previous one you had that spring crash. So I would like to think that if we start accepting above EMA 99, we're going to get some decent squeeze and take it from there. But as long as this keeps rejecting, we can just, you know, continue to fade any pumps on equities until we get a decent flush. And on SPX situation is slightly different here, because we started accepting now above EMA 99 and pretty much above all the key resistance. So now a question is, this is just bait, and, you know, we going to get everyone excited somewhere around all-time highs and then flop? Are we just entering new trend and everyone who is short or sidelined will become either liquidated or stay sidelined? So I think it's very, very interesting next couple of weeks to see what's going to happen. And today we have Nvidia earnings, and I think it's going to be potentially very clear signal for a market if we're going into a little bit of risk on for at least 2 or 3 weeks and squeezing back higher, or basically a reaction from earnings will be either weak, underwhelming, and we just go back into fading it. So I'll be keeping eye on equity, still looking pretty decent, but currently, I mean, no shorts, no longs in no positions, but if there's opportunity, I'll be looking to potentially fade it unless we have a clear signal that the, you know, trend is back to the up. Now looking on the Bitcoin side, I'm not going to go over much of the altcoins. I'll just go briefly through some of the main ones. But basically, if you look at the Bitcoin weekly, I mean, it looks as ugly as it gets. We're accepting below EMA 200. It's the first time since 23. And it's putting some sort of fight over here. So there is a chance that this is deviation. We accept above 68.5, and we can get some nice squeeze into the potentially 76 to 80k, and I think that can catch a lot of people off guard. So I'm not really chasing any shorts here. So that's a scenario to think about. I mean, Here it's a EMA 200 sitting at 68k roughly. And I think if we start seeing acceptance above it and hold it, we can get a very decent short squeeze over here, at least to that area. That will be very interesting for the major shorts if it happens. Now this is a bullish scenario. Now right now we're still in a, if you look at the daily, in a massive downtrend, and we're fighting with it. So question is, if we are going to get just a small relief into the 70Ks, I think there's a lot of inefficiencies to fill over here. I'll bet there's a lot of resting stops in this area. So if we get a squeeze into 72k, maybe some push above it and start showing weakness again, I think it'll be great shorting opportunity. But for now, I'm in some longs, but I'm not chasing. Just taking it day by day. I think there is a chance that we might see some decent squeeze over the next couple of weeks if the news align, and then I'll be looking for back into being a net short. Now, in general for Bitcoin, I think looking on a weekly, ideally speaking, anything from low 60k to probably mid 40ks is a great buy opportunity. So I'm currently in position on average at 63k on the spot that I bought during the crash in early February, and I'm holding it. And I will be looking to add if we get either some bullish confirmation, or if we ideally get something like that, and then some a little bit longer forming bottom before higher up. That will be my base case scenario, that we might get some relief over the next couple of weeks. Not guarantee, I'm not holding my breath. And then we are going to bottom somewhere between the May, April to August 2026 and start a new bull trend. And I think this will be a great opportunity to start buying Bitcoin. And looking on the major altcoins, Ethereum, I mean, I really, I don't even want to look. It's a disastrous coin. So yeah, let's just focus on Bitcoin and skip Ethereum, but it's going to follow Bitcoin price action hype. My favorite altcoin, and that's the main one I'm looking to position at. So yesterday I bought some spot 26.5, so we have a decent move here, about 6% for now. Now I think anything below 25, below 20, like it's hard to really time it based on with a coin that is 1 year old, based on everything what's happening. But I think everything in this area, it's value. I mean, I'll assume that this was huge deviation and we're not going back in, so there's a chance that we're going to fill in some weeks here if Bitcoin goes back to 50Ks, 40Ks. So if we get in a squeeze to 30Ks, reject and form some sort of bottom here, I'll be a big buyer in this area and targeting new all-time highs and 100 plus in 27, 28. So that's something I'll be on the lookout for. Now, If it happens that, you know, Bitcoin and stock market start showing strength and, you know, we entering back into some more of a bullish phase, I think if we look at the daily, very clear resistance sits at 32.5. So yeah, so pretty much similar as we look in the weekly. So basically you can assume that like, hey, you know, I'm missing that 16%. Like if you don't want to risk here, you can say, hey, I'm missing the 16%, but I will buy with confirmation if we accept above 32.5. Now if hype accepts above 32.5, I think we're entering new bull trend and there's no time to wait. And it's going to be a massive squeeze. It's perfectly aligned here. Huge resistance on in this area. So if we get, you know, consecutive daily candles above 32.5 and a weekly close, I think that's the main area to either look for shorts and massive rejections if we get there, or if you want to buy upon confirmation, that is your area to get exposure if you don't want to, you know, risk over here. And obviously ideal scenarios, as discussed before, will be just to basically adding on any dips below 25 all the way up to 15, 16, although I don't think we're gonna get much lower than probably somewhere here in a 17, 20 range if we happen to dip that low. Actually squeezing pretty nicely here as a long-term downtrend, so really wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna get liquidate some shorts, everyone FOMO here. We do something like that, that'll be pretty crazy. Yeah, solely Ethereum, not really much interested right now. I'll mostly look on a Bitcoin price action and decide from there. Now on the stock side, there's a lot and to pick from. Let me just clear up some. So let's go for a daily. I'll just try to go through this pretty quickly. So Tesla. We are with Tesla. Reclaimable 420. Great trigger for all-time highs and beyond. With keeping an eye on this resistance here on 440. Otherwise, any squeeze to this area, good short, and I'll be looking to accumulate here between 380 to 350 if it's given. I think would be great value targeting all-time highs and beyond on Tesla. So this is my main area to playing with size. So anything basically below 400 you can start dollar cost average. Nvidia, best looking stock by far, as my short setup that I had over the weekend and essentially didn't really take, and it looks absolutely insane. I mean, problem is it just doesn't give the decent enough dips or pumps to have any directional plays, and here we're heading potentially for some sort of crossing to the downside. Like if EMA 99 started rolling over here, we might get a squeeze and a loss of momentum, but so far it's stretching. It's just like anybody's guess so far. I think if we are blessed, so to speak, with any dips to this region, so from 175 to 155 on Nvidia, it's an incredible buying opportunity, targeting new all-time highs and beyond. Now here we are already above all the major EMAs, so I'll be looking on this area to either become resistance, maybe on earnings we get some squeeze, and if bearish we start rolling over and NDX SPX follows, or basically we are going, you know, this will be confirmation that, you know, we are back into some sort of bull trend and we heading much higher, and there's this idea is invalidated. So definitely worth to keep an eye in the next couple of weeks. Nvidia, what else we have? Intel. I think Intel looks pretty rough recently, so for now I'm in no position. I got stopped out. We had a great run on Intel December, January with that 60% pump. Now here I got stopped out on Intel. Now I'm looking to either have acceptance here, probably around 48.50, to target all-time highs and beyond, or, which is more likely, any squeezes here are going to be a bearish, and I'll be looking to buy somewhere back in the 36 to 30 range. Pretty straightforward. Next one, Google. I think that's Google, Tesla, and Nvidia, and probably Amazon as well. That's the 4 stocks that like you at least want to hold a couple of those going into 27, 28. So Google a little bit more tricky here. So very clear resistance over here at 320s. Basically any squeeze here, you can assume it's a fade, and a great buying opportunity somewhere in this region. So 280 to 260, possibly with some deviation lower for all-time highs and beyond, or we're accepting above 320 as discussed with the previous one, and it's the start of a new bull trend, and we basically buy a little bit higher for new targets. Amazon got absolutely obliterated recently. Not a fan of that. So Amazon wise, historically speaking, EMA 200, it's a make it or break it for Amazon. As you can see here in this area, and here. So we either entering on Amazon side this, which would be very ugly. So basically you assume that any retest in this area is a fade, and it's just going to show weakness, potentially feel all of that inefficiency here, and it would be great buying opportunity in 160 to 185 range. Something like that, like a fake out below, everyone panics and we go higher, or we reclaiming here this resistance, show some strength, and then we targeting multi-times and beyond. So basically this would be major opportunity for buying. Right now looks pretty weak, not a huge fun. X-Pro shared that recently. X-Pro Group looks great. It's literally nothing to complain about. I think it's going to likely enter some sort of exponential growth and parabola. We are up, well, not 22, 17% from the buys, and I think everything, like if you look at the daily EMAs and rolling view ups, everything heading for higher. So I think that's going to be a price action, and maybe some first TP area somewhere over here. and we'll take it from there. But I think all of this, we are heading to get this all-time highs, triple top, however you call it, from 2023-24. We're going to feel it very soon with the current price action. Next one of my favorite stocks, up only, basically have a most comfortable hold of them all. Now, assuming we still have escalations in the Middle East and everything, oil prices will surge, production is surging. We have a clear uptrend, up 26%, zero concerns here. No idea will be re-entry if it happens, but looking at that, we're basically looking at the another parabola in the making. CVX pretty much identical, up 12%, nothing to complain about. As all-time high to clear here, this area. I think once we start accepting above it, it's going to go crazy. So eyes on basically this 190, 185 area for either some chop and consolidation or just break out and smash it higher. It looks great so far. XLE, that's general energy sector, just looking great, so I'm just tracking it. You can trade it as well as the energy itself on the hyperliquid uranium. All of my biggest positions. We had some deep and we back at it. So uranium is from my December calls, went, was it December? Yeah, that was December. 53%. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Didn't really take any profits yet. I'm looking for the much higher targets. So I'm looking at the 120s, 140s and higher up on the uranium. I think here we either get some more of a consolidation, so more of the same, and eventually breaking out to the upside, or it's just going to smash. A lot of narratives are aligning, so there's a possibility that we're just going to smash above these all-time highs and squeeze back up. Great chart, literally the highest conviction I have right now. I don't think anything is even close right now. Comfy hold. DNN, the Nissan Mines, they just got the permission to build the first uranium mine in, I don't know, 30 years or whatever. Took them 7 years to get permission in Canada. Looks great. And look at the 3-day chart. Got some chop over here, but in general, like on average from entries, we're up about 17-20%. And looks parabolic. I think anything given in this area is a buy. Maybe we consolidate a little bit here before we squeeze, but generally it looks like it's heading to short term at least to 6, 7, 8 bucks. So you're looking at least for a 70 to 100% gain short term. It's basically like how to say that, a leverage bet or option call on uranium. So if you're bullish on uranium and you don't have much size and you don't want to use leverage, you just buy DNN. That's how simple it is. Copper, uber choppy, still looking good, I think. So pretty much on daily, pretty straightforward. As long as you're holding above that box, we're good. If we start rolling below, so the 580, if we start accepting below it, I'll exit my position. But as long as we chopping above, I'm expecting much higher targets and all-time highs. So I'm not overcomplicating. On copper, my main exposure is Copex. So obviously it's aligned to the price of the copper itself. Pretty nice recovery here on Copex. We've been that from January, so yeah, pretty choppy range. But I like the range, so I think if the longer we consolidate here, the bigger the breakout. It's very possible that we're building something similar over here. And basically, copper is going to chop everyone to pieces that are trying to play it on leverage. And eventually we're going to see a massive squeeze. And you're going to see something like that later on in the next 6 to 12 months. So something to look forward to. FCX, Tech, both copper plays as well. So if you don't have a copper itself exposure, our Copex is less volatile. I think that Tech is the best option of or FCX for a copper exposure. Now my beautiful space stocks. So we had a great run on the Rocket Lab. Now we had a pretty good flush over here. I think it's entering again an interesting area. I mean, we took profits on the near the top. I think until SpaceX is launching the EPO, any dips in this area for Rocket Labs, like for all the space stocks, will be nice opportunity for a high up. But we basically either reclaim this EMA 99, so about 72, confirm that this was just a deviation and go high up, or we're gonna get deep a little bit lower into this box, and this is your entry. Very simple. ESTS pretty much identical. We caught what we had here. Sorry, 87% rally. Now huge flush near the entries. Think nearly identical situation you're looking at. So we either reclaim EMA 99 over here, some consolidation and squeeze back up, or you're looking for any dips in this area to buy the same entry for back to all-time highs and beyond. Now whenever there's a date for a SpaceX EPO or some more details, you should pay attention, because that will be a time to start looking for the de-risking the space stocks. That's how I see it right now. Redwire, again very similar, 2x run, crazy rally, now flush. I think again this is buy opportunity here. So we either looking at there's a lot of resistance above or some sort of consolidation above 9, 10 here and then squeeze back up, or you basically start accumulating in this area. We get another round bottom and start squeezing back up. So that's how I see Redwire. Lunar, very similar to others, actually looks a little bit better because it's above EMA 99. So it's 64% rally since December on these stocks. Now basically you either looking at this area for buying, or here we holding above this EMA 99, so about $17, and we targeting new highs. This one actually looks the best out of them all, but it's still very volatile, so be careful. Obviously, alternatively, we get a dip here, LAB consolidation, and then higher up. ONS, I don't know what's this fucking drawing, but ONS, forgot, I think it was an 80% rally since December. We call it somewhere around Christmas here. Yeah, 86%. Now back in an interesting area. I think there's a very simple again. We either reclaim here, EMA 99 that's above 11, and then we pump back up, or you're looking for entries somewhere in this area. So basically anything below 8 up to 6, it will be nice area here. build some base, and then targeting new all-time highs and beyond. Should be, there's a lot of support over here, so I think anything in this area could see pretty nice nice pump. Now assuming stock is still good, that will be pretty nice setup for some sort of free drive. Like if you look at it, it's quite crazy how it's setting up, but like something like that on ons. If you look at the stock, if we get the dip here, yeah, something like that would be pretty crazy. We have this huge megaphone, how it's called. I saw that pattern multiple times before, so that could be something to look forward to if they set up. But I think you're looking for anything below 8 for a pump into 20, so looking at a 2x play at least. This is all the crap I'm checking, so no. Ooh, hype is looking nice here, squeezing up. Nice. Yeah, there's a lot of shorts probably piled up and now they're getting wrecked. Yeah, that's all. Oh, yeah, that went pretty quick. I thought it's gonna be longer. So yeah, that's how I see it in general. So I see market having pretty nice squeeze on the open. So we'll see how's Nvidia earnings, but I wrote it on a Twitter today. Let me just go over it. Yeah, 1 second. Well, yeah, anyway, I'm not gonna scroll through that, but basically, well, I covered at the beginning, and I discussed it a little bit on Discord, that betting on Iranian strikes and war was not the consensus a couple weeks ago. So you could buy, for example, Iran strikes for 28th of March at like 6, 7, 8 cents, and it pumped to 40. So basically a quadruple, triple quadruple within a week on above all the escalations, and entire timeline was about the deployment, how many ships are there and how many planes and how crazy it is and so on. And somehow now it became consensus. So my process of thoughts here is we either see nothing and nothing ever happens and market will react positively, we squeeze back up until some news gonna, either break the all-time highs or get it wrecked. So basically this is a option. And a lot of people were placing huge bets on the oil pumping, on gold pumping, on the indexes collapsing and so on recently, rather than just trading. It back and forth was a great range to trade. So I think there's opportunity to either we, have some fakes pump until some bad news come within a tariff, no agreement with China, a war with Iran, whatever. But basically stock's been very choppy for a prolonged period of time, and we're heading into some sort of directional play. And I think this directional play could be, how to say that? Like if we invest this price action here, you have the, I'll just explain it in a different way. There we go. I have those big deviations below, above. So what if we're going to get another deviation above, and then it's going to be either decision that are we still bullish? Yes. No bad news and all-time highs and everything squeeze back up and sentiment changes immediately, or this is another fade the pump scenario, that basically EMA started curving down, but we just get like this fake squeeze. And this will be great shorting opportunity finally into some value area for more of a long-term buys on stocks. You know what I mean? So right now I just don't like the consensus, so I'm not short. I close all the shorts, and I've been looking for longs and posted few on the server, and that's what I'm looking at right now. I don't want to get caught in a squeeze that is happening right now. I mean, oh, this is pretty clear here on the Bitcoin. That's basically how you can look at it. You have the range high, and then the range low and the mid range somewhere here. So as long as we above that mid range, we play the upside in this area. If we start accepting below and we're playing downside in this area, there's just nothing else to add. Now if we start accepting here, and then it's opening doors for 80Ks, or we accepting below here, then it's opening the doors for new lows. That makes sense. Like, I mean, that's how simple as it is. That's how I would like to put that up. So yeah, I start. Thanks guys for tuning in. Hopefully that was useful, and we'll speak to you soon. Thanks again.